All right. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Turbine release webinar. I want to encourage everybody, if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A, and I'll be monitoring that. Also, keep your eye on the webinar chat. I'll be dropping in support articles on all the new release feature and functionality that we'll go through today. To kick things off, I first and foremost wanted to mention that today is National Work from Home Day here in the United States. So hopefully you're all in the comfort of your own home. I thought that was an interesting way to kick things off because it really speaks to me about all the great technology advances that we've made in a short period of time here recently. And I thought that was very relevant to our Turbine release, which is chocked full of new features and a bunch of new updates that are going to be game-changing for our Youreka experience. To kick things off, my name is Gary Salmo. I'm our Director of Solutions Engineering here. We also have Jasmine Sanchez. She is our Senior Product Manager. She's going to be walking through all the demos for us today. In terms of an agenda for today, like we mentioned, great technology advances here. There's two exciting new features, which is our ability to sketch directly inside of a form, as well as our mobile state recovery to make sure that all of that good, rich data that you're capturing out in the field always finds its way back into Salesforce. And then we've got a couple of updates to some existing features for Youreka Maps and Fuse, as well as table sections, which is going to make the lives of all of our users easier as they're setting these features up, as well as filling all of that data out in the field. We'll see demos of each of those as well, while I hand it off to Jasmine right now.
Thanks, Gary. So yes, everyone, thank you so much for joining the Turbine One webinar. Glad to hear that you all are getting excited for it. So Sketch, this is a new feature that we are introducing in the Turbine One release. It is part of our advanced data collection licensing, along with the existing table sections feature. So kind of what this licensing suite is, the goal behind it is introducing an enhanced way to collect data. So rather than just answering multiple questions, the Sketch feature unlocks creativity and gives you another way to collect data that can then be reviewed or analyzed to help your businesses make informed decisions. So let's say you're doing a home inspection today and you need a way to convey potential damage in the home. You may spend a few minutes today answering various questions to get that point across while making sure you're not missing anything. So today you're probably answering like yes or no questions, maybe providing answers through a pick list or capturing a photo. But someone on your team may interpret your answers differently because of the simplicity of the answers being provided. So with the Sketchpad question, you can now use those few minutes by sketching out exactly what you see and add a bit more color and context. So a picture, again, truly speaks 1,000 words, and the Sketch feature saves you time in the field and streamlines that communication. So you're now able to enhance your form with visual data. So most of the enhancements that we made with the Sketchpad question type have been also translated in the existing attachment photo question. So if you'd like to capture a photo and mark that photo up, you can see some of those Sketchpad enhancements in that question type as well. So another cool feature is the Sketchpad. You can either work off of a blank canvas or your template builder. So the person that's creating the form for you can upload a template image that you can sketch on top of. So you can see a few of the examples here on the right. The first one is an example of where a template image has been added in the Sketchpad. So you can just mark on top of that sketch. And the bottom one is working off of a blank canvas. So honestly, it's all up to you for what you want it to look like. And the creativity can just go from there. So I'm going to actually hop right into our demo for Sketch. First, I'm going to show how to set up the Sketchpad question in Template Builder. It's super easy, just takes a few minutes. And then I'll go into the mobile app and show you how to interact with the new Sketchpad question. Let me switch screens real quick. So I'm in Template Builder. I have a few different examples here for kind of what sketching can look like. So rental car inspection, a simple asset inspection, and lastly, a health assessment. So today, if you want to add questions into a form, remember you have to make sure that you drag them into either a standard section or a link section. So these are all different standard sections. And at the top here, what's special about the Sketchpad question type is it's available at the top to easily just drag and drop. With other questions, again, you have to drag the question cell and then select what question type you want. But since Sketchpad is a little bit special and it's part of our advanced data collection licensing, it's here on the top and available for you. So I'm going to just drag the Sketchpad question down here. And I'm now in my question details modal. So just like your other question types, first you're going to label what you want your question to say in the mobile app. So it automatically defaults to saying that it's a blank Sketchpad, but I'm going to, for this use case, label it to say car sketch 2. Next, I'm going to determine whether I want the Sketchpad to be a blank canvas or if I want a template image to be added. So by default, it's going to be blank. So that's why you see kind of this blank square here. If I want to add an image, I'm going to go over to my image gallery, where here you can see these are just previous template images that I have in my template. I'm going to select this car inspection one. So now you can see it's no longer blank and has the car inspection image. If I change my mind and I want it to be blank again, I can just select this blank one and now it's back to blank. But I'm going to select my car inspection. A new concept in Youreka is the idea of an icon gallery. So what that essentially means is, other than having my mobile user sketch, add shapes, add lines, I can also give them the capability to add icons. So maybe we don't trust that we can totally comprehend a drawing from an individual. Well, why not just give them icons that they can use so you know exactly what they're trying to convey? So for a rental car inspection, I may want them to note different, maybe a glass is shattered, or the engine may need some repairing, or there's scratches on the car. I can include those icons that can then be selectable by my mobile user. So in this use case, I selected 3 icons that they can work off. So a neat thing here is anytime the mobile user accesses this specific template, they're always going to have these icons to select from. So I'm just going to go ahead and click save. And simple as that, I now have a Sketchpad question in my template. I've determined that it's going to have an image, and I've selected a few icons that my mobile user will be able to work off of. So now I'm going to hop into the mobile experience. So you all should be seeing my mobile app. And again, I'm going to be working off of that template we were just looking at. So first, I'm going to touch on the rental inspection scenario. So let's say I'm returning my Honda that I was renting for a week, and I need to keep track of maybe any damages that I made or anything I need to let my rental company know about. So at the top here, let me just go back. All I have to do to get into the Sketchpad is just click the image. So click the image. I'm now in my Sketchpad experience. At the top, you can see I have the ability to draw. I can add lines. I can actually add text as well, shapes, and then the icons that we were going over. So for this example, I'm going to quickly just do a quick drawing. I can actually determine what color my draw line will be. Let's say in this example, it'll be red. I can increase the width of it. So I'm going to just drag that bar, have it at 8, and I can select my highlighter. Again, a highlighter will be a bit more gradient and thick, and your pencil will be a simple line. So this is my highlighter. I'm just going to highlight the hood red. Let's say I just want to color my whole car red. So that's the highlighter. My pencil would look a bit more like this. I can make it thinner so you can see the different thicknesses change as well. Let's say I totally hate what I just drew. I can just clear my whole Sketchpad. So the bottom left, if I click clear, starting from scratch. So no one's going to judge you. You can always clear your Sketchpad. Let's say I don't want to clear everything. So let me just do a quick scribble and a scribble here. Let's say I like what I drew on the bottom. I just don't want to delete what I drew at the top. I can actually select what I drew. It becomes selectable. So I'm going to click on my pointer. I'm going to select my drawing and click the trash icon. And I can select that, click trash, select that. I can get to it and click trash. So again, different ways to kind of delete some of the drawings. You can either clear the whole sketch pad or select different elements. Next, I have my lines tab. So I can either add a simple line, I can move that around, I can twirl it, move it anywhere I want. I can add an arrow and again, change the color if I want. So this is a single arrow. And if I wanted to add a double arrow, I just, determine the color and click add and move that there. And so those are our arrows. I'm going to go to the next sketchpad and continue on with the different experiences. So this is my asset inspection. So we just went over draw on lines. Let's do text. I'm going to call out that this is a asset. I'm going to keep the color of the text black and I'm going to click add text. And now there it appears. And I can resize anything that I add, lines, even what I'm drawing, I can resize it. And then I'm just going to add a rectangle around my text. And I want the border color to be red and I want the fill to be clear. Let me see if I can use my stencil. And I'm going to click add. Oh, I wanted it to be red. Let me go back. Red, done. Click add. And I can add that around my asset text just so it's called out a bit more. And again, we have other shapes like a circle that can be added and a triangle. So multiple shapes you can be working off of. Again, the creativity is all up to you. I'm going to select these images and just delete them. And that is the shapes tab. I'm going to move on to the last scenario here. And this is our health assessment. So let's say you're a nurse and you're checking someone's hand out because you think they might have broken their metacarpal. I'm going to go to my icons tab. This is where it gets a little bit fun in my opinion. I can use icons that have been provided to me by the template builder. So let's say I want to use this to call out that there's been a bone breakage in the metacarpal. So instead of trying to draw it myself, I'm just going to use the icon. But I need to pinpoint exactly where the breakage is. I'm going to go to my bottom right and click on my grid toggle to turn on the grid for the sketchpad. So now I can use the grid to aid in helping me point out exactly where the breakage is. And it's in the center of my metacarpal. I'm going to turn my grid off because I feel confident in where I laid that icon on. So there you go. There is the breakage of the metacarpal. And if I want to add more and more icons, you can see since I previously selected this breakage icon, it's already there in my add button. So I can keep clicking the add button to add more and more. So you can see I just clicked it multiple times and they all started to appear.
Jasmine, I love this icons feature because you can only draw so much effective pictures with the point of your finger. It's great to be able to pre-configure the icons that are loaded that you might be using on a regular basis, whether it is, a break in a bone or blood or outlets on a house or issues or breaks or items whenever you're inspecting a vehicle, a home, an asset. We could pre-bake this form with all those types of elements that you're going to reuse on a regular basis. So super helpful there.
Exactly. And now you don't have to feel bad about what you're drawing. I mean, it's an image, right? So it's easily conveyable. So I selected my other blood image to just say there's a little bit of tearing here. And that is your icons. Again, super easy to work with. It's very simple. Everything that you saw, except for the icon gallery, is also available in the attachment photo question type. So now if you want to take a picture and edit on top of that image that you took, you will have the ability to draw, add lines, text, and shapes. You won't have the ability to add icons. The icon gallery feature is just specific to the sketchpad question type. So again, I'm just going to click clear to clear my sketch out and click cancel. And that is Sketchpad for the Youreka mobile app. If you have any questions, please send in the chat and we will do our best to answer it. Let me go back to our presentation. So now we will be going over another new feature, and that is mobile state recovery. So what this feature essentially aids in is preventing any data loss. It helps saves costs and time by preventing any sort of triaging efforts needed on the client end and enhance data security and integrity. So the super major item to know here is that there is no setup required. So this is all done actively and consistently in the back end. So all you have to do is sit back and relax and have comfort in knowing that your data is always secured. And in the case that you have to restart your app or it crashes, find that additional extra comfort in knowing that answers and any data will be saved and there for you when you return. Now on to some of the few enhancements we made. So first up is maps. Hopefully everyone remembers we introduced the maps feature back in the Solar 1 release. So previously all map settings existed in the Salesforce setup backend, and the maps feature was actually only available if you had mobile cards enabled, meaning that you could not see your forms as pins on the map. With the Turbine 1 release, you can now view forms on a map, meaning that if you have mobile cards disabled, you will still be able to use the maps feature. You can also toggle your layers on and off as well, and all the map settings, except for ArcGIS data, have been migrated into mobile admin. So I'm going to hop into the maps demo now. First, I'm going to show you how to set up maps in mobile admin and literally how simple it is. And then we'll hop into the mobile app and kick it off from there. Cool. So I'm on the mobile admin tab in Salesforce. So you might be, you might have seen the distance tracking section previously. We've now literally just added that maps toggle, where now this is where you can toggle maps on and off. And again, it will be there to toggle even if you have mobile cards disabled. So in this use case, I don't have any mobile cards on. I'm just working off my forms, and I've been able to enable maps. And I've selected which geolocation field should be set for my forms to show up on the maps. So now let's go to the mobile app. Again, you can see I'm working off of forms, so no mobile cards here. I'm going to click on my map, and bam, you can see I'm in Holly Ridge, North Carolina. Again, working from the comfort of my home. It looks like my app is restarting since I've been idle for a while. And let's say I'm a field technician, and I've been assigned 2 forms to work on throughout my day. So I can see them in relation to my current location. So again, anytime you click into maps, it's going to default to your current location. So I have 2 forms that are close to me. And I can just click the pin of one form. I'm seeing that this is my asset inspection maintenance form. It looks very similar to how the cards actually look in the list view, right? So all the same information just on top of the map. I can now go directly into my form by clicking view complete form. So now I'm in my asset inspection and maintenance form. I'm just going to go back to the map, unclick that. Another cool feature I want to call out is that idea of toggling layers on and off. So I'm going to zoom out. We actually have a few layers laid out across continental United States. I'm going to click on the top right here is my layers toggle. And you can see I have 3 layers: off-road, trail, some Baltimore service regions, and protected wilderness. Let's say, you know what, I'm on the East Coast. I don't want to see protected wilderness layers. I'm going to toggle that off. So that's my last option. And you're going to see on the West Coast, those layers are going to disappear. Bam. Simple as that. But let's say, you know what, I actually do care. I want to see what protected wilderness is out on the West Coast. I want it back. I'm going to click the layers, and it's going to take just a few seconds to appear since that was a lot of layer data. And there you go. It's back on. I'm going to go back, click my icon. And again, if I don't want to go back to the list view, I can actually just go and create a new form on the map. So on the bottom right, I'm going to click add form. And you can see I can select any form to then work off of, and then goes directly into my complete forms experience. So that is Youreka Maps. Again, you got forms on the map now if needed, where you can go directly into your forms experience. You have the new layering and the toggling on and off of them, and then mobile admin and the map setting being migrated there.
That maps view is fantastic for, I've completed my job today. What else is around me that I might be able to complete while I still have a couple hours left in the day? Or somebody called and they resolved their own issue or canceled on me. And then I can go and try to navigate around to find the next closest in proximity to me, so I can go and be as effective as I can out in the field. Also love the layers, to see that right on top of the map. So if we're using ArcGIS and you've got different layers to see service regions or support roads or different types of layers, electric lines, wires, maps, assets that are out in the field. It's a great way to map that directly on top of the pins that are existing from Youreka forms directly on the map. So that's super cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Cool. Next up is table sections. So I quickly touched on this one earlier and noted how it was part of the advanced data collection licensing. So again, this feature has been available for a while. It's just another way for folks to capture data, so you don't have to answer multiple questions, and instead just answer all your questions in a single table where users may be able to analyze or view the data that they're capturing in one space. You can see in this GIF that the user's entering multiple values for probably some maintenancing that they're doing. So again, another super cool way to gather your data. An enhancement that was included in the Turbine 1 release for table sections is the custom column sizing. So another way to customize your table sections experience and your data inputting needs. So the setup for this is very seamless, and we will go over that in a quick demo. The other enhancements that we made were included in the Solar 2 release, but are worth mentioning due to how important that they are to possibly your business needs. So there is now an additional, more prominent border around input cells. So it makes it easier for a form user to differentiate between an input cell and a cell that may just be there for additional space, or may contain a content image. And then next is the section display logic. So where template builders are able to define whether a table section needs to be omitted based on certain criteria provided by the form user. So let's hop into the table sections demo. First, we're going to look at how setting up custom column sizing is super simple. And then we'll see what that looks like in the mobile app. So let's switch screens real quick. Cool. So I am on a asset inspection and maintenance form. I'm going to skip over all these different details, including the form, and I'm going to navigate to the area where my mobile user would be collecting a lot of data within a table. So my first table section here is my diagnostic instrument results. Let me quickly move this. Just sit out of that. This table, you can see, has some vertical scroll. There's a lot that needs to be inputted here. If I click into my table sections details, today, before this enhancement, what would happen is anytime you entered how many columns or rows they were all going to default to the same size. But let's say, I want there to be a custom experience as far as what my column sizing looks like. There is a new column sizing tab. So again, today, it automatically defaults to where they're all the same size. But I now have the ability to add custom sizing, where I can add different sizes to all of them. I'm gonna actually go to the second table. I'm gonna leave this one the way it is. The second one is where custom column sizing makes a bit more sense, because my first two columns have a lot of text there, but my last column in this scenario is just a column with different radio buttons. So I want my first two columns to be larger than my last. So I've entered 40, 40, 20. A thing to note here for column sizing, is that the sum of all my column sizes have to equal 100. So in this case, I have 40, and then another 40 to 80, and then my last column's a 20 to equal to 100. So that is column sizing. Again, if you don't want to define column sizing, it's just going to default to where they're all equal. But this is just an enhanced way to just customize your form and your table sections experience. So I'm going to hop into my mobile app. And again, I'm going to skip over kind of the first page here. If I was doing an asset inspection and maintenance, this is all the data I would be providing to make sure that I'm doing my inspection accordingly. But I do just want to focus on the table section specifically for this scenario. So again, this is the first table that we saw where I have kind of like the default table sections experience where all my columns are the same sizes. I'm gonna quickly turn this. You can see there's vertical scroll here. The second is where we've actually put into place that custom column sizing. So my first two columns are those 40. So first column's 40, second column's 40, and my last one is that 20. And you can see it makes sense in this scenario because I'm just selecting yes or no. I don't need it to be as large as the other. So it makes sense for this scenario. And again, super easy to set up. It's quick math. Everything just has to, all the column sizing values have to equal up to 100. And then you just save it, publish your template, and it will be available to your mobile user. And that is the table sections enhancement. Last but not least, I think we're on our last one. Let's see, Fuse. Yep. For those not familiar with this feature, Youreka Fuse allows you to load existing forms in the Salesforce Field Service mobile application. So this means there's no longer a need to deep link between SFS Mobile and Youreka Mobile. You're able to access Youreka's powerful forms and capabilities within one app. So a new set of functionality that we worked hard to introduce is the form display logic feature. So you can now show or hide forms based on display logic criteria that was set in Template Builder. This concept is not new. We know a lot of folks use form display logic today in the Youreka mobile app. So a few examples, let's say a form has been completed. You can now show additional forms based on that status of form equals completed. Or let's say a form user provided a specific answer on one form stating that no, the inspection was not completed. That answer can now hide a set of forms if needed. I do want to note that for the time being, the form display logic in Fuse only works in an online state, but we are working hard to support the offline capability for this piece of functionality. There are also a few new additional question types being supported in Youreka Fuse. I, again, would encourage everyone to view the Youreka Fuse knowledge article for more information regarding what questions and feature types are being currently supported. I'm going to hop into a demo for Fuse, but I'm going to actually play a recording for this one so folks can see what that looks like today. So I'm in SFS Mobile in this scenario. In no time in this demo am I going to go into the Youreka mobile app. I'm on my existing forms list in SFS Mobile. I'm actually going to go back and I'm in a work order. And what I'm about to do is I'm going to click into a new LWC where form display logic can be implemented. In this use case, we're calling it the filtered forms list, or actually I'm on my service appointment, sorry. And I was able to add that LWC that looks up to the service appointment. And clicking that is going to open a forms list where form display logic has been implemented. So in this use case, I have a parent form that's going to determine what other forms will show. So you can see this first form is the driver, and the second form is showing because the work order status in my first form was equal to on hold. So what I'm going to do here is go in my parent form, and I'm actually going to change that work order status. And I'm going to change that to in progress. So now what's going to happen is that second form should no longer be there. And I should have another form showing where the work order status, it would say in the title, work order status equals in progress. And again, that was all set up in Template Builder. So as you can see, a new form is showing. I'm going to quickly just change it up again to show, to make another form appear and that form disappear. I'm going to open my form up and I'm going to change it to completed. I'm going to submit this form. And again, I'm going to go back into my filtered forms list for that, under that service appointment, and you're going to see a different form now appear because that status is now completed. And there you go. That is form display logic. Again, no new concept here regarding form display logic. It's all set up in Template Builder today, and it can now be implemented through in Youreka Fuse. And it's all, again, the same concept that LWC. It's easy to set up. You just set up a quick action, and all those steps are highlighted in the Fuse knowledge article. So again, whole new capability and functionality there. Let me go back to our slide deck. So that is all I have. I ran through a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. So if you have any questions, again, throw them in the chat. I do appreciate everyone sticking through this webinar. I hope you all are excited, like Gary and I am, about Turbine 1 and all the different capabilities and features and enhancements that we've included. Gary and I guess we can stick around for a few minutes. Please send us any questions you have, and we will do our best to answer them. Thank you so much, everyone.
Very nice job, Jasmine. And it looks like we don't have any questions trickling in, so I'd say we can wrap it up. And if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to answer any and all questions that we can get. But thank you guys very much for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. Bye now.